Hi guys, and welcome back to Lovin Keto. My name's Ron, and welcome to another What Ron Eats in a Day series. Today is day 2 of 7-day What Ron Eats in a Day. Now, yesterday we made some almond flour and keto bread, and 90-second keto bread came out really great. The only problem was with the almond flour bread, when I made it in that plastic container, I should have filled it up to the top, and I didn't, and I was concerned about cooking it longer for 90 seconds. And the other thing is I should have used a flat glass container instead of the, it had like a little dip in the middle of the container there on the inside, and it left that, pushed it in, and that's why we had a little bit of a deflation going on in the middle part of the bread when I made that. I figured that out afterwards. But it came out pretty good. I still ate it, and I toasted it on the frying pan. I'm in the process of putting it all together. Right now it's about 10 in the morning. I'm going to get the dinner going for today, and then I'm going to finish editing that video and this video. And then I did a mayonnaise recipe yesterday that I filmed out. I'm going to put it together and see if I like it, and I'll share it. But yeah, so let's get right to it. Okay, now that I got my camera in position on the overhead on a little bit of a slight angle so you can see what's going on from the top, we're going to go ahead and start preparing our meatloaf, how Ron makes meatloaf anyways. And I'll probably see if I can get myself to where I'm not popping up over the green screen. So let's get right to it. So you're going to need some type of a mixing bowl. Now I got other mixing bowls that I can use, and I'll eventually be replacing these mixing bowls with better ones. But what we're going to do with today's recipe, we're going to be using a 2080 chuck beef. So we're going to be using 2080 chuck beef, and I'll just point the camera up this way so you can see in front of me. We're going to take half of this, and the rest of the ground beef, I'm going to be making my wife a cheeseburger today. And the rest of it, I'm going to be grinding it up for just using some loose ground hamburger with some butter and some cheese. And that's going to be a few meals for later. So we'll take a mixing bowl. My hands are clean, by the way. You could probably use some type of a spoon to mix it, whatever. But for what we're going to do, we use our hands again the old-fashioned way. And just dry out my hands afterwards to clean them up in the sink. My hands are clean. So typically I'll take about maybe a quarter of this, cut it through with the knife, and you put it in the bowl. I eyeball most of my spices. I'll put a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt in. And if you hear the heater kicking like it just did, I live in an apartment, it's cold out today. Just put a little bit of salt and pepper in. Everything's all to taste, by the way. I use oregano leaves. Then I use garlic powder. And I grabbed Italian seasoning. I gotta grab some onion powder. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So I use a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. And then I use a little bit of oregano leaves, and I use a little bit of Italian seasoning. And for our breadcrumb mixture, I bought this Pork King Good Original Flavor pork rind crumbs, and it's gluten free. Let me put this up to the camera, as you can see. Okay, and that's what the back of the ingredients is. And now typically, of course, we have one egg, and we have the one egg over here, and I usually put ketchup in, and it usually traditionally used to be Heinz ketchup, and I used to mix it all in and stuff like that. But Heinz ketchup has a lot of sugar in it. I found this hickory flavored sugar-free barbecue sauce that I used Sunday for the first time, and I really like it. It's by G.U's, and even though it's got cellulose in it, if I'm even pronouncing the word, I use this for dirty keto, and it's perfectly fine. I mean, if you're not concerned about it, just don't use it. Use sugar-free ketchup. But this is kind of like a dirty keto type thing, and this is fine. I mean, I'm down to 213 pounds this morning, and that's the bag of ingredients what it has. But you know, I'm only going to use maybe about a quarter of a cup of it to mix it in with the ground beef. So if you're that conscious about your weight and you're struggling, I would not use that. But this is what I'm want to use, and like Jess says on many of her videos, you do you, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing me. So let's put this over here on my desk. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you when I'm going to cook this in. I'm going to cook this in a meatloaf pan or a bread pan. I got that at Ocean State Job Lot, and I really love their, when I go over there, just move this back a little bit. So last time I was over there, which is past week, I was looking for some pizza pie tins, and they didn't have any, so I picked up what I could of this stuff, and because I'm planning on making out a couple more chicken recipes. So the first thing you want to do is add your dry ingredients. It doesn't really matter what order you put them in. Now I'm going to use the, like I said, this is gluten-free breadcrumbs. I got it on Amazon. I'll put the link below the video. I usually use about a cup. This is a 1/3 of a cup right here, and this is the only one that would fit in that container for about almost a cup size. And I'll just grab out a little more. Now what I did the other day was I bought some breadcrumbs, not breadcrumbs, but I bought some pork rinds, and I grind it up with the food processor, and I never had pork rinds before. Well, actually, I should say never. I never used to like pork rinds. Here's something I wanted to ask you guys too. So I've been noticing since I've been losing my weight and stuff like that, that my taste buds are changing to where I'm tasting stuff that I never used to like before, like avocado, black olives, green olives, stuff like that that I never had before, and that I didn't care for, and all of a sudden everything's starting to taste good to me. So let me know if that happened to you when you were losing weight, because I'm just curious. So on all our basic ingredients I'm just going to put a little bit of palm in my hand. You know, depending on what you want for spices, just kind of like this, about a tablespoon. You know, like I said before, Rachel Ray, Emerald, and all those great chefs out there, Mario and Simon and Bobby Frey and whatever, even Chef Robert there, they all just basically measure with their palm. And you've been doing this for a long time, like we all have. You know, this all works for us, and this is the method that I've always used, even when I wasn't doing low carb keto. I basically, what I used to do is I used to just eyeball it, and now we're going to put the oregano leaves in it. Sometimes I would put parsley flakes in this because I don't have any. I got to get some more parsley flakes this month when I do grocery shopping this week, and then oregano, and then we'll put 1 egg to combine it, and then we'll mix it all in together. Okay, let's crack the egg. Careful you don't get any shell. And they'll put that over there on the waist. Okay, now make sure it's still recording. Okay, and got a shell in here. I see it. Noticed. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to use the spatula to mix it a little bit. No, I don't think it's going to work out too well with the spatula, so we're just going to get the old-fashioned way down and dirty. My hands are clean. So I just, you know, I don't want to over mix it, but I'll just kind of like mix it like this. Just keep mixing it and work it through. And it is cold. I'll try to get off all that egg out of the bottom and just mix it all in and incorporate it with the ground beef. And now, but I have the oven at this point I already got the oven preheated to 400, and I'll bake this off for about 30 or 40 minutes until it's cooked. And then while this is cooking, I'm gonna make a hamburger for my wife, and then I'm gonna take the rest of the meat and I'm gonna ground it up into ground meat, and then I'll use that for like a beef bacon and butter day. So that we don't need the this anymore. So now that this is all mixed, I'm gonna open up this. Now I used that sunny for the first time. I thought it came out terrific. So I'm just gonna pour. Like I said again, I'm just eyeballing it. Maybe about 3 big half-inch tape, maybe about a half a cup, not even. Just a little bit under a half a cup. And normally, traditionally, meatloaf, I would be putting ketchup in here or tomato paste or tomato sauce even. But for our purposes, we're using this today. Now this morning when I weighed myself, I lost another pound in 2 days, and I all the constipation problem I had today went away, and I felt really, really good. Now I tell it pretty much straight up like it is on my channel. So I hope that doesn't bother you guys, but you got to know what to expect when you're losing weight, when you're on a weight loss journey. And I've been doing, this is week 75 for me, and I've been feeling absolutely fantastic. So I just put it in there like this, and then we're gonna move this out of the way, and I'll put this over here on the floor, out of my way. Now I just put we're done with this. And this, you shape it out to a hamburger. You shape it out into a meatloaf. And it's very, very simple. Now I have some leftover pizza sauce that I had made from the other night from that chicken crust pizza that came out really great. And that recipe is already up on my YouTube channel. I'm thinking about just taking the rest of that and just putting on top of this to give it a little more of a ketchup-y flavor. And then when it's baked off, we'll show you what the final product looks like. And then for a vegetable, instead of having the traditional mashed potatoes with it, since I already have a half an avocado cut, I'm going to have an avocado cut with this, and then I'm going to make some easy peasy shackles later, and I'll make some I guess like a hamburger type thing. But this is what this is what a meatloaf looks like after it's been assembled and put into a meatloaf pan. Now I'll bake this off at about 400, probably for about 40 minutes until it's fully cooked in between, and check it with a knife. And what I'm going to do is, instead of using ketchup on the top, now I have some sugar-free ketchup there, but I want to use up the rest of that pizza sauce that I have, and I'll put that on top, bake it in the oven. We'll pull it out of the oven, and I'll come over here and I'll show you what it looks like after it's all cooked. The rest of the ground beef, I'm going to scramble it up and have it for little meals, prep meals for the week, whatever's left. I'll probably maybe get about 3 or 4 containers, and I'll probably put a little slab of butter in it, and for a buttery sauce, and that'll be fine.